Let's open with a word of prayer. Holy God, as we continue to study your word, as we try to understand more of your will, we ask that you would continue to be with us and bless us. In Jesus' name, amen. So, things that we've discussed in our last study. I want to begin by saying that I think I've consistently taught, even though it may have been misunderstood by some, that the problem in our human nature that we call sinful nature isn't so much the corruption of any elements of our nature, to state it another way, the lower powers have not been corrupted. It's not that when we were created, we didn't love chocolate and now we do. Or that when we were created, we didn't thirst for Coke and now we do. Those foods were designed, created to tap into the desires and the demands that the human body or the human being has. Those food scientists understand lower powers. They've not changed. And they just know how to make the lower powers happy. What's happened is in that study is that the balance of power is not working well. That's what my understanding of sinful humanity is. Sinful nature is the misbalance of power. When you come to the recent study of fast brain, slow brain, the dynamics are similar, but they're not identical. Because what this model acknowledges, recognizes, is that sometimes we behave badly as a natural response to what's happening to us, to our environment. Which means that sometimes when you do something bad, you don't get accused of a crime for that action. Okay, so that's my summary for the last presentation. Any questions? No? Oh,
Could you elaborate on when you said sinful nature is the misbalance of powers?
mis misbalance. People understand higher and lower in different ways. And when we've looked at fast brain, slow brain, one of the reasons for doing that is one of the reasons is to help us to stop doing something that I think we've tended to do. We tend to take the word low and high and turn them into bad and good, which is why we've got bad and good for fast and slow brain, which the reason why they're in the reason why they're in quotation marks is because they're not bad or good. So lower powers are not bad things. Bad things. And higher powers are not good. What I think it's trying to indicate is when there's a conflict between the two, I'm not going to define what higher and lower powers are, but if there's a conflict between the two, the higher ones should win. I hope that answered that question. Melissa?
I have as an example, because it's not always black and white. If a person needs to eat more to gain weight to be healthy, then they will have different eating habits than a person needing to lose weight to be healthy. So the person thinking that they need to eat more might feel guilty and struggle to do the right thing for them.
You can give example on the comment, it's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I want to take a small break. And I want to ask a question. Not related to what we've been discussing. What is the king of the north? Who wants to go first? Question was what?
Trumpism.
What else? Christina?
The king of the north is a beast. It's a beast of Bible prophecy.
Is a beast? Is that what you said? So you said a beast, and then you said a beast,
Bible prophecy.
and then you said? Oh, 1 second.
A beast of Bible prophecy.
A beast of Bible prophecy. Who's next? Kathy?
God.
Is that okay? Tool of God? Anyone else? Christine?
I was going to say the punisher of God's people, but I think it might be the same as a tool of God.
I'd say yes, it's the same. So it's a refinement. Is that right? A tool of God to punish God's people. Anyone else? Curtis?
A kingdom that rules the world.
Put world in quotation marks. Because world can mean different things. Oh. So I just put world in quotation marks because it could say the Middle East, for instance. It might not be every, literally the whole planet. So that was that. I didn't hear what you said.
And then I said, I'm just keeping that agnostic, so not attaching a moral element to it.
Is it okay as it's read?
Sure.
Anybody have? Alyssa? How come you've got so many different answers?
Church over state power.
Sorry?
Church over state power.
So that doesn't quite tell us what it is. Or does it?
Does.
Okay, I'll leave it there.
Okay.
Andres?
So I would add, I'm not sure if what Curtis meant, but I would add that it rules in a specific way.
In a specific way is what?
Which is, I was waiting for, which is survival, like so survival of the fittest.
So only the fittest rule the world?
Yeah. As in contrast of like cooperating with other people, it rules the world by domination. Yes, domination.
Itself?
What do you mean, sorry?
It rules the world by itself.
Yes.
Isn't that what all that just says? I could just put on its own at the end.
I guess, yeah, maybe.
But that would just be a tautology then. If I just put a kingdom that rules the world.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Gloria? Are you changing that or adding to it?
I'm adding to it. How about state nationalism?
Alyssa? I because she was next to, so.
So what Gloria was saying is, I
Just
think
give us your answer.
what I was going to say was the manosphere.
What is manosphere? For the uninitiated like me.
It's a term used to describe a group of individuals that hold a mindset of male superiority. And seeing women, LGBTQ, immigrant rights as a threat to them. And to get back their rights.
It's just it's too long.
Okay, that's okay.
I've already got long. Is it men or women?
Mainly men.
So it's men or women.
It could be both.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's men or women.
Yes.
It's a statement, not a question.
It's a mindset of people,
So,
but mainly of men.
it's not only men.
99.9%.
He'll tell you when you can speak. Don't look at me. Look at me. Is it only men?
99%.
That's no.
Correct.
So
Wait for the thumbs.
it's men or women.
Men and women, yes, both.
That
That believe that males should rule the world.
that's what manosphere means.
Think so?
Okay. Anyone else? Christy.
This isn't adding, but it just seems like these are all characteristics of one entity. But I think that's
Oh, okay. Anyone else? So, number one, what's number one? That was Gloria. What does that mean?
It's a state power of USA. You know, the church would be MAGA, and the church.
1 second. It's state power.
Yes.
Anything else?
Francisco said it's a political movement. He's helping me out here.
No, I didn't. Okay, yes, thank you.
Go again?
There is no one named that here.
That's good. Yeah.
I just got state power. Nothing else? So that's what Trumpism is.
Yes.
Trumpism is the Republican Party.
Yes. The MAGA.
Been for MAGA?
MAGA is. Yeah. We're dividing state with MAGA. MAGA would be the church. Trumpism is the state. So MAGA rise over Trumpism. So church over state.
I just want the King of the North.
Oh, okay.
You tell me what the King of the North is.
Trumpism. Yeah.
That's where we started.
Trump.
And I don't know what Trumpism means, so I asked you to tell me what it meant.
I guess, President Trump is the King of the North. Yeah.
Trumpism means Trump?
Yes, his presidency.
Should I take the ism out?
Yes, he's the ruler right now. He's the president of the USA. So.
Okay, so it's So it's just Trump. And so it's not the Republican Party.
It's just Trump. Yeah.
Trump isn't the Republican Party, he's the president.
Republican Party. He rules over the Republican Party.
Sure. But he's not the Republican Party.
Trump. Okay. Yeah, just Trump. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get rid of that. Yeah, and state power.
Yeah, you can get rid of that too. Just Trump.
You want to get
then.
rid of that?
Yes.
So I did ask what, and you gave me who. That's fine. So someone said a beast. Who was that? So I've got a beast. I've got a tool to punish God's people. Who said that? Ah. Okay, so that was Kathy and Christine. A kingdom that rules the world. That was Curtis and Andreas. Church over state. That was Alyssa. State nationalism. That was Alyssa. And oh, who was that? Oh, that was you. Sorry. And Manosphere was Alyssa. Anyone else? Does that mean everybody agrees with these answers, or people are not sure? I feel like a vote coming on now. Curtis?
I think Christine said that a lot of those sound like characteristics. As opposed to answering the what question that you asked.
Except your one.
Obviously.
Obviously, yes. we picked that up. Okay. So Revelation 13. Verse 1, perhaps. Yes. Revelation 13. We see a beast. Okay with that, Christine? Okay with that, Christina? A beast, Revelation 13, verse 1? Okay. So that beast, is that the king of the north? Or is that a king of the north? Yeah, I'll go with, is that the king of the north? Christina said yes already, so we won't ask her. Andres? Just yes or no, is that the king of the north?
Not sure.
You don't know? Alyssa? Alyssa said no, Andres said he didn't know. Yes or no? Yeah. Not sure, Emma? Andy says she's not sure. Gloria? Yes or no? Yes? Francis? Christine? I'll go with the yes. Sorry? Oh. Amika? Okay, so we can all whiz through. I won't give names now. Yes? Francine? Yes? Okay, 3 yeses. So that was Nancy, Carmel, and Francine. So no? Bell? Regina? Okay. You really don't know? She really doesn't know.
Yes.
Maurice? Yes? We've got yes, yes, and of course Christina said yes. Donna? Yes? Yep, 2 yeses. Victor? Elaine and Kathy? Okay, not sure. Yes. So we've got quite a few yeses and we've got some no's. Who wants to have a go explaining why that is the King of the North? Christina, you're going to explain why that's the King of the North. Oh, in a second.
So my opinion, Daniel gives us those 4 beasts, which are all the king of the north. And here,
My translators aren't working. Can you hear?
Yeah, she already translated.
Okay.
okay, so Revelation 13, verse 2 gives us the descriptions. It is bear, lion, leopard. So it takes us to Daniel 7.
What's the last thing you said it takes us to?
Daniel 7.
Good. Anyone else? Why is this the King of the North? Tyler.
This is the fifth kingdom of Bible prophecy, and it is the kingdom that is solely ruling the world.
Ruling the world.
I'm just writing what Christina said. And you're saying it's the fifth?
It's the fifth kingdom of Bible prophecy. And it is solely ruling the world. solely ruling it by itself.
Okay. Yeah. How do you know it's the fifth kingdom?
It's standing on the edge of the sea.
Okay, so
The transition from sea to land.
you're gonna break it down into a time period. Okay. Who said no? Why is it not? Why is this not the king of the north?
Because I was reading 1311. I hit 2 number 1s.
We shouldn't laugh. It's easily done.
So I agree that it is.
So in verse 1,
It is the king of the north.
so we only actually had one no, which is now a yes. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around 6 people that said they didn't know. Francisco?
After reading Revelation 13, it all points to the King of the North from what I can read. From what I read, it really points to the King of the North.
So we've had one didn't know. After Christina took us to Revelation 13, it turned into a yes. So the other people who said they didn't know, are they persuaded yet? Yeah. Anybody still isn't sure? Okay, so we agree then that it's a beast of Bible prophecy. If you're okay with that. So now I want to go to Revelation 17. So we're in verse 3, and we have a beast. So this beast in 17, King of the North, address. Let's go. We'll do this quickly. Okay. Melissa? Anna? Francisco? That's fine. You, if you're not sure, I'll put question. Why don't you carry on reading? Don't know. Carol? Oh, they're consulting. So we'll give them a bit more time. John? Yes? Val? Tyler? I trap. I never trap people. Maurice? We never do that. Never do the hundreds. Victor? Lee? You'll say yes? That's it? Come on, man. Curtis, we missed Curtis. How did we do that? Did we get you last time? Wow. What was your answer for the last one? What was your answer for Revelation 13, Curtis? Yes. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. And now?
Just the beast. Are you asking about what does the verse say? I don't have it in front of me.
Revelation 17, verse 3. I'll paraphrase a bit. The angel carried John in the spirit into the wilderness. And John saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. We'll go with that. Someone said a beast of Bible prophecy is the king of the north. I took them to Revelation 13. It says the beast. Everybody said yes. I went to 17, verse 3. And I'm only asking about the beast. And I said, is this the king of the north? And everyone said yes.
Except Curtis.
Except a couple of questions.
And I say no.
Got one no. Oh. The influence here. See? You thought you were unique, Curtis. No, no. Christy?
So, but I don't think so, but Francisco thinks it is.
I think it is.
Oh, okay. A yes and a no. Anyone else wants to give any comment? Okay, all the yes people. Who wants to give us why is this the king of the north? If you said yes. You said you said yes before, yes. Okay, go ahead. So Samaria is going to tell us why this is the king of the north.
Because it's the fifth kingdom, and what in chapter 13 we said that's why it was the king of the north.
Okay, because in Revelation 13, that was the fifth kingdom. This is the fifth kingdom. So they must be the same. You said? Good. And Gloria just said it's the same beast. Okay. And someone earlier said something about Revelation 12, but we kind of skipped over that. Are you okay for me to ask you a question, Samaria? So we're in Revelation 17. And in verse 1, it says there's a woman. You can see that? And it says water. Yep. Now I'm in verse 2. And it mentions what in verse 2? So we've got kings and
Inhabitants, just like inhabitants.
before that,
Whom? The woman again? Whom the
got
kings?
woman. Can everybody see the woman in verse 2? Mary can see it. Can you see it? Who can't see the woman in verse 2? Okay, everybody can see that. And then the third thing, people, you said.
People, yeah.
Now we're in verse 3. What can you see here?
A woman, a beast.
Woman and beast.
And
That's
yes.
it? Okay. So we'll stop there. What do you do with these 3 verses, Samaria?
Oh, you're going to, should
No,
we
not what I'm
over,
going to do. What would you do if you saw this?
combine, well, at least I know the first 2 are the same thing, and probably the third, like they're talking about the same thing, all 3.
So you're going to combine them. And what's the basis to give you the authority to combine them? What have you seen? What have you seen that you think you can combine the verses?
The same woman in all 3.
So Samaria's looked at 3 verses and she's made an assumption that the woman is the same woman in each of the verses. Are we okay with that? So you may disagree. I'll give you, if you disagree, you can speak in a minute. So Samaria, I've got woman, water, woman, king, people, and woman, beast. So we've lined the woman up. Now what are you going to do?
I guess I will line the kings up with the beast, but I feel like the water could be people.
Okay, so Samaria wants to, so she's finished now. She's got woman, king, beast, water, and people. Have I got that correct? According to what you said? So this is how Samaria's done 1, 2, and 3. Yes? Okay. Does anybody want to add to that or comment or disagree? So I'm going to say she's used standard methodology. I can say it that way. It's built upon an assumption that it's the same woman. As soon as you do that, everything else falls into place. As you said, one conditional point, because we haven't studied it in depth, she thinks that water is people. because you could have put Walter under the king beast one. Okay, Christina. Before you give your comment, just tell us if you disagree with what she's saying, and then tell us what you disagree about.
Uh, I disagree a little bit. How I see it, the woman is sitting on water. And the woman is sitting on a beast. And the woman is sitting on mountains.
Have I missed mountains in verses 1, 2, and 3? You can't do later on yet. Do verses 1 to 3 for us. Tell us what that looks like.
It doesn't say that the woman is sitting on the kings.
We know it doesn't say that. So tell me how you would do 1, 2, and 3. If they're separate, you do that as well. Is it the same woman?
No.
Okay. So tell us, we've got the same woman, and then we've got 4 symbols: water, king, beast, and people.
The king becomes, the head becomes one with the beast.
What I'm asking is water, king, beast, and people 4 separate things or not?
No.
They're not separate? Start again, carry on.
So you have 2 entities here. You have the woman and the beast.
I always keep missing the last bit because they overlap. So I've got, tell me if I can combine any of them.
The water and the beast.
So you've got water is the beast.
Yes.
And kings and people are separate.
Water is people.
We have to wait.
So water is people and nations and multitudes.
You said water is beast. And then you said water is people. So should I put people underneath here? So water, beast, and people are the same thing. And then you've got king separate.
By the king.
Okay, so this is 1 to 3. This was Samaria, the first one. And the second one is Christina. And you can see that they're quite different. So you want to take us to verse 9. The woman sits on 7 mountains. And what are the mountains?
The 7 mountains are 7 kings.
So the mountains are kings. And the kings of verse 9 are different to the kings of verse 2.
They should be the same.
So you looked at the word sit, sits on waters, sits on beast, and then you're going to put mountain here because sits on mountains. But then you said mountain is king. So can I put kings underneath? So you're similar to Samaria now. All that she's done is that she's taken water and people and made them separate. Because in verse 2, it says the kings and the woman are doing something, and they have done something to the people. Or she's done something to the people. So we're quite similar. Anybody else want to comment? So one last question, Christina. How many kings are there?
8.
So you said 7 in verse 9.
In verse 3 is 7.
Now speak.
In verse 3 and 9 is 7.
Okay. So you said a beast is the king of the north. So are the 7 kings the king of the north?
Yes. Yes.
Are the people the king of the north?
It's the king.
Are the waters the king? Are the waters the king of the north?
Part of his country.
But they're not the king of the north.
They're led by him.
But they're not the king of the north. The woman,
I don't know how to say this.
the woman is the girlfriend of the king of the north, but she's not the king of the north. The people have been made drunk, but they're not the king of the north. Yeah?
His name, like in a marriage.
The people didn't marry him. Maybe the woman might have. It's the woman and the man that are in a relationship, not the people. I'm just reading the verses like you are. Can we take people out? Because people aren't the king of the north. And you said water is people. Is that right? You paraphrased a Bible verse that said water is people.
It is a long explanation. I cannot do it now.
Okay. It's just that it sounds like you've done this and you've got to the same place that Samaria got to. Okay. Who wants to tell me about this woman? I didn't hear what you said. Anything? Who's the woman? What is the woman?
Controlling the kings.
Christina, do you agree that the woman's controlling the beast? Do you agree that the woman's controlling the kings? Elisa, tell me what it means when you sit on someone's head.
You direct where they go.
Christina, what do you think it means when you? What does it mean when you sit on someone's head? She's not sitting on the head of the beast. Who's going to help me with the verse? She only sits on the kings. Did she sit on the kings? Did she sit on the kings? Did she sit on mountains? She sits on mountains. Verse 9. And mountains are kings. So she must sit on the kings. Sure. So we'll go back to Christine. She's going to. Go with your question.
If the king of the north is Manosphere,
I didn't get the last bit. 1 second. Gabriella, can you not translate the second bit over when she's speaking? Because I can't hear both of you then. It doesn't make a difference. Because the problem is with every translator then. Go ahead with your question.
so if the king of the north is patriarchy, how is the woman controlling the king?
I never said. Go ahead. You can translate that. I'm not going to translate it. I never said. I can hear myself. Not now. I never said that the King of the North is patriarchy. You said the King of the North is a beast. So I stuck with that. I've not gone to any other type of modeling. But you and I agreed that the woman sits on mountains, that mountains are kings, and therefore she must be sitting on kings. And she's already sitting on the beast. So you agree that she sits on mountains, but you don't agree that she sits on kings. But you agree that mountains are kings. So I think you're stuck in your thinking. So I don't know if I've answered your question. Because I can't go to patriarchy. Because that would then go to something like Alyssa's one about manosphere or something like that. I'll go back to Alyssa then. The woman is what?
The manosphere. Oh, so in this,
I'll go with that. Woman. So it's fine. Woman is manosphere. And manosphere is?
patriarchy.
And patriarchy is?
A cultural belief system.
What is the King of the North? What is the King of the North? You said manosphere. Now you said the woman is manosphere. And I said, or what? King of the North. So you're saying the woman is the King of the North. Which is consistent with your no. So you're not giving any proof of any of this. So I'll hold that there. We had like 90% of you, more than that, said yes. That you've all said that these kings, this beast, the mountains, are the King of the North. I don't know if you all still agree with that. I'm pretty sure the woman's sitting on all of those things. And someone said the King of the North, what is the King of the North? It's a kingdom that rules the world by itself. Which would mean that the beast could not be the king of the north, according to if those definition is correct. Samaria, help us out. Did you hear that? I didn't hear. I can't hear. I switched back to France and it's still they can't hear. I switched back to France and you're not hearing that. We'll try one more time.
Curtis needs to unmute the mic.
Is your mic muted or unmuted? Can you hear can you hear Curtis?
Hello, testing.
Now it's just when he keeps it on and you talk, then there is a echo. So he needs to turn it off and turn it back on when a comment is made.
He's been doing that.
But sometimes it falls.
Again. Someone said earlier that the king of the north was the church controlling the state.
I can hear French and more French now.
I need to say it again.
No, I heard it. I think
Okay. So I think the issue is whether the issue in Revelation 17 is whether just the beast is the king of the north or the beast and the woman is the king of the north. In Revelation 13, there's no woman, so we can say the beast in there is the king of the north as a whole. But in Revelation 17, maybe we're seeing it like being broken apart into church and state, which together make up the king of the north. Or co-state, because you could say culture in this in place of church.
Tyler? Before you give your response, Tyler, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you agree with this answer? Something that rules supremely. So it's tricky if I give you a verse like verse 3. And you haven't had a chance to read through the chapter. And now I jump to the last verse. And I ask Tyler to explain the last verse.
You mean 17, 18?
Yeah, chapter 17, verse 18. So I'll ask a couple of questions. Who are the kings in verse 18?
The king spoken of earlier, or do you want more specific?
If you're in your Bibles, look at verse 2 and verse 18. Both tell you it's the kings of the earth. So they're the same kings. Carry on.
Okay. Was there any more question you had to?
So it's the same kings. And the way verse 2 describes, but it says the woman. Is that the same woman? It describes the relationship differently. So tell me what verse 18 means in relationship to verse 2.
Verse 18 is clarifying verse 2, what that fornication is.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean,
What's the clarification?
that they, oh, sorry.
With respect to that arrow.
The question I was going to ask is the same thing that Samaria was mentioning. Can you be the king of the north without a kingdom? Or a king to rule over?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, yes.
You need a kingdom. You may not have it right now, but to be a king in any meaningful sense, you need to have a kingdom, yes.
So this would be a clarification that you need the woman and the king to be the king of the north.
Is that a question or a statement? I don't know. That's what I want to understand. But if I took the definition that was given with this arrow, then in verse 18, it says the woman is reigning over the kings. Because in verse 9, she sits on them. I hear what you said.
Sitting and ruling is the same. I mean,
That's what the imagery tells me. So if that's the case, and if Samaria and Christina are correct, that the kings and the beast are the same thing, then you know the beast, by definition, cannot be the king of the north. Because they're being ruled by a woman, the woman. And if this arrow is correct, kingdom that rules supremely, then all of you who thought that the beast in Revelation 17 is the king of the north made a mistake. and that it's, in fact, the beast isn't the king of the north, but the woman is. So there may be some further explanation that you'd want to refine actually, but at that basic level, when you talk about rulers, it wouldn't be the kings that are the king of the north. It would be the woman that was. Go ahead, Tyler. I assume you disagree in some way.
It may be semantics, but if you had culture, or if you had the woman without a kingdom, she's not the king of the north.
Are you happy to leave the people out of the subject? I can hear myself now.
Yeah.
Testing. I can still hear myself. Testing. Okay, I'm okay. It's okay now. Okay, so if we leave the kingdom out of it, because I can't see any kingdom, I can see people, and I can see no one's translating. I can't hear a translator. Are you sure it's at their end and not? I can hear her now. Okay, so 15. The waters which thou sawest, where the woman sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. Is that close enough to kingdoms?
Are you trying to identify just that she's ruling over them?
No. I'm just trying to say that they're kingdoms.
I want to say no.
What's the nation?
So I want to identify a kingdom that she's sitting on. As discrete kingdoms throughout history.
I don't mind. Is nation the kingdom?
It can be is this nation, is this the primary nation or just a nation?
The word nation, is that a synonym of kingdom?
Sure. Yeah.
And tongues. Is tongues a synonym for kingdom?
No. Well, it's that's like a language.
That a kingdom speaks. The kingdom of the United States speaks a tongue called American. Does any other nation speak American?
In this
In this planet?
if you're gonna say it's other than English, then no.
No, no one speaks American. Except American. So why isn't tongues a synonym of kingdom?
I guess it could be. Yeah, you know,
So this woman sits on a kingdom. You're okay with that statement? So in verse 2, those kings are kings over what?
if they're the same kings that we see a few verses later, which they are, they're representing different time periods of history.
I don't care the history. I'm asking, the kings are ruling over what? What are they kings of?
Of people and their
Naga?
people, their discrete kingdoms.
Those people, are they the ones in verse 15?
Yes.
So the kings are the kings of the kingdom. And then this woman sits on top of those kings.
Mm-hmm.
We're okay.
Yeah. I'm not arguing that she's not in control of this relationship, and it really seems like she's the king of the north. I'm just pointing out a nuance that if she's kingdomless, she's not the king of the north.
Sure. Is she kingdomless?
In this verse, no.
In this whole story?
I think there is a point where she is kingdomless.
For most of the story.
I think there's only one point where she's not, where she doesn't have a kingdom.
Okay. So for most of the story, she's ruling, which makes her the king of the north.
Yeah. Yes.
Kurtik.
In the discussion about the waters, peoples, and kings, were you trying to figure out if the kings are the people, nations in verse 15?
When I spoke with Tyler or before? With Tyler? No. All I wanted to say with Tyler is that there are kingdoms in this story. And kingdoms are not kings, and they're not a woman. That's all.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we're distinguishing between nation and what's spoken about when we say kings.
So what I'm seeing is a woman, kings, and kingdoms. 3 separate entities. And in this story, it's what I see when it speaks about kingdoms. It's not geography; it's about people. We've run out of time, but I want to understand. You should want to understand why so many of us got the wrong answer. And if you did get the wrong answer, if you agree, if you can see the argument or the logic that's been laid out here, that you can see that the woman is the king of the north, and the kings are not. And the kingdom is nothing to do with that power struggle. In verse 2, it says they're collateral damage. The woman and the kings, whatever relationship they have, she's the king of the north and not the kings. I have to stop because it's lunch. We're... For you, Curtis.
So could you say explicitly whether the sixth kingdom is the king of the north or not?
When you say the sixth kingdom,
The sixth king.
do you mean the sixth mountain,
Yes.
which would be the sixth king?
Yes.
Let's have a vote. If you agree with this conclusion, king number one, was this king ever the king of the north? Put your hands up if it's no. The answer is no. King number two, was that king ever the king of the north? No. Number three, no. Number four, no. These kings were never the king of the north. They could never be the king of the north, ever. So someone said, Christine said, what about Babylon, Medo Persia, Greece? And Rome, pagan Rome. And the answer, Tyler, is
No.
no's not going to cut it. She knows the answer is no. She doesn't know why.
Oh. Because we're not identifying that kingdom, we're identifying a specific relationship.
I'm going to stop now, but I'll try to answer your question simply. Christine, what's the name of this king, number one? He said Nebuchadnezzar. Is that what you said? What's the name of this woman? Does that answer your question? If that clicked, it helps you to be able to work your way through this. Because by the time you get to number 5, this is who? Who's the king of number 5? Europe. Oh, there's a king here. Number 5. Okay, that's close. Holy God, we thank you. We want to thank you for the technology that we have, that we can share these truths together. We ask that you would give us grace and patience when it doesn't work according to our needs. I want to thank you for all the people that have worked hard to make this presentation understandable. Especially the hard work of our translators. As we grapple with the subject of the King of the North, help each of us to come into agreement, come into unity with understanding what and who that person is. These things seem easy. Until we're confronted with the reality of what these verses mean. We thank you for blessing us in Jesus' name. Amen.